Happy New Year and welcome to January 2022 Patreon rewards video. So let's get started on this stuff today. Actually, before I begin, so I took a 2 week break this last December, just because I really needed to just not do anything, like nothing. So I did take a 2 week break of not doing basically anything, just to try to relax, and so that I could avoid burnout, so that I could have energy for the next year for doing all the things I need doing. So I really did take a short break. But that having been said, it's not that I didn't do stuff, and there is quite a bit of work that I'm going to show you. So beginning here with Bart Running. So this is a rough poses of Bart running. Uh, uh, this is not in any way, shape, or form associated with the Simpsons show. This is a test that I'm doing on my own for myself in order to get better at my job. Okay, so similar similar to what I was talking about last month when I was talking about practicing drawing the characters. This month I decided that I was going to practice animating the characters. It's one thing to draw the characters once. It's another to draw the characters in motion. And the difference is that when you draw a character in motion, you have to make sure that all the masses are consistent throughout, while at the same time trying. And this is one of the things that a lot of my friends were getting annoyed at me with. Was that I was doing too many trace back drawings. I was trace back meaning not trace back, but I was basically copying and pasting heads and things like that. They're like, never do that. It's just terrible. I knew this, and I got lazy. So I stopped doing that, and I'm going back to practicing redrawing the characters instead of taking shortcuts. So this is part of the practice. When I animate, I tend to do a rough pass. This is the rough pass. And then I time that rough pass to make sure that it's working. And from this point on, then I'm going to do a second pass. And the second pass is going to be a much more solid on model pass. Like, it's a little bit more of the look of the final drawing. And I will do this in red. And I will show you this in a second. But this is the first pass, and this is Bart, obviously. This is the third run that I did, which is why it's still in process here. But this is the third drawing of the third run test that I did. I've done 2 other characters, and I will show you those characters in a second. This drawing is from my sketchbook. I'm interested in doing Eastern Orthodox iconography. There is a lot to it. I'm not 100% sure I'll actually be able to do it, because there's a few things that need to be done. One, you need a tablet. You need a tablet. By tablet, I mean a wooden tablet. You need to actually buy and paint on a tablet, which you gesso yourself, and you have to gesso it, and it's a big process, and I don't have any experience doing any of that. Plus, you have to kind of build the tablet yourself. You gotta go to the warehouse and get the wood, and then you gotta prep it, and it's a whole thing. I've never done. Again, another thing. Then you have to put the linen on it, and then you have to glue the linen, and then you have to gesso the thing. It's none of that I've ever done. And on top of that, once you're done with that, then you have to make your own paint. So you have to buy the pigment, and then you have to do the egg tempera. You can use acrylic. So it's not, you don't have to use egg tempera, but egg tempera is the type of a paint that you ought to use. So that's a whole other thing, and that's actually really fascinating to me. So that I am actually looking forward to doing that, and I could probably do that, and I'm kind of excited about maybe trying that out. And then Once you do that, then when you're actually doing the actual thing, the drawing itself is a lot more like animation, where the artist disappears. You're not supposed to be, it's not like in The Simpsons, you have to draw the characters on models so that you as an individual artist don't stand out. It's the show. It's the show is the end, not you as an artist expressing yourself. In the exact same way, Eastern Orthodox icon is exactly the same way. You don't have a style. You adopt the style of the iconography, which has model sheets, right? There is specific ways that the people in the image need to look, and this has to do with the proportions, the types of eye, the way the eyes look, the nose, the spacing of the nose and the mouths and the mouth shape and all that stuff. So this is me practicing that, drawing on model for an icon, which is a very unique, very interesting thing. I find it very fascinating. It's the type of art that is meant to make you as an artist humble. You are humbling yourself when you do this. This is not about you. It's about the image and what it's meant to be. It's a different way of thinking when it comes to art, including the compositions. You're supposed to work within a base prototype or archetype of images that you're not supposed to veer too much from. It's supposed to look basically the same no matter what. Once you've mastered all of that, then you can start expressing your yourself a little bit, in that you can still say something within the confines of the style, using anything that has gone before, and then you can collage it into something that might be new, but still the same. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting process. But so this is me just kind of practicing and learning some of the rules of proportions and stuff like that. It's not quite right. I'm going to keep practicing. Just so eventually you'll see me develop this sort of thing a little bit more maybe in the future. But I'm curious about it, so I'm studying it. Okay, back to the Simpsons run tests here. Again, like after I finish doing a rough pass and I time it, then I go in with a red solid pass. I took the red out and made it gray here, but this was after I put the final line. So you can see that there's red, the roughs are over here, but I did do a tighter rough, trying to make the drawing more solid, trying to keep the shapes consistent, all the things that I just spoke about earlier. And so here's the Homer. So, and again, this is basically what the look of the kind of stuff that I turn in when I'm working on the show. This is not part of the show. This is just a personal this is the way I'm studying the characters, learning how to make them move, etc. All right, next is this month's postcard. This month's postcard, I did record a video. It will be uploaded soon. If you're watching this after I've already uploaded it, well, then you can go find it in my channel. But this is this month's postcard. So I had a little bit of trouble getting this postcard. Well, not trouble. I had well, you'll hear in the video how I was kind of afraid that this postcard wasn't going to turn out at all, and unfortunately it did. So I'm glad. I'm glad it came out the way it did. Who won this postcard? Anita won the postcard. I think she won last month too. So that's crazy that she won twice in a row. But here you go. So And if you want to participate in the postcard reward, all you have to do is support me on Patreon, and then your name will be put into the hat so that you might win the original postcard. But anybody who is my patron will automatically get the digital version of this postcard. Okay, and finally, Marge. So with this Marge drawing, I chose not to gray out the red underdrawing. I wanted to show you the red underdrawing so you can see all the construction that went into drawing Marge here, and how I adjusted the final black line compared to the red line. So especially here with the hands, you can see that I drew the hands way bigger, and then as I did the final line, I actually shrunk the hand when I drew it. Yeah, so that's so you can see that I make adjustments even after I do this. So and because I'm checking as I'm drawing, I'm checking how big is their hand, is their hand getting too big, and that sort of thing. So I make adjustments and I make adjustments and I make adjustments. And I do flop the drawing and make mirror images. One of the things I wanted to do with her was have her run very different than Homer and Bart. So I wanted her to be a little bit more feminine, so I drew her hands to look like this. This was actually the trickiest part, was drawing her hands. How do I make her look a little bit more dainty when she runs? That was a little tricky to learn to do, compared to like Homer, who's just like a lot more floppy, and then of course Bart, who's a lot more energetic when he's running. He's more straight ahead. So there we go. So that's Marge, and all my silver patrons will get the movie, and all my bronze patrons will get the separate artwork like this. And again, this was all study. It has nothing to do with the show. This is not going to be in the show in any way, shape, or form. This is just personal study for me to get better at the job that I do. Okay? So if you're ever curious to see whether or not we in the animation industry are practicing and studying and doing so we can get better at what we do, this is the kind of thing that I'm doing myself in order to get better at my job, especially because like I said last month, I'm doing more character layout, and character layout requires much more very specifically being more on model than doing boards. Boards, you're a little bit more free to be a little off, but with character layout, which is the kind of like the final look of the show, you can't. And I've been way out of practice. I haven't been doing it consistently enough, so I have to go back and really work hard to get my chops back up to where they used to be. So there we go. So this is me practicing. All right, so thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I hope you like the rewards this month, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.